Hi, rockers. Hello, hello. We continue with this playlist of pet preparation, yes, of B1, you know that level. And we've got another lesson on reading part 3, this in which you have a text and 5 questions, okay? So, I already asked AI to prepare a picture out of it. So, have a look to have an idea what the text is about. The pictures are very simple, let's say, comic. So, this is the story. And it goes. Feel free to read next to me, Shazawin. Last Friday, I was traveling to the city by train. At first, everything seemed normal, and I was reading a book. Suddenly, I realized that my phone was not in my pocket because I had used it just before. I knew it must be close. Meanwhile, the train was moving quickly, so I couldn't get off to look for it. Although I felt nervous, I decided to stay calm. Therefore, I asked the passenger next to me if they had seen it. Luckily, the woman smiled and said she had found the phone under the seat. As soon as she gave it back to me, I felt relieved. In the end, I learned that being polite and asking for help is better than panicking. On the other hand, if nobody had found it, the day would have been very difficult. In conclusion, losing something can be stressful, but it also teaches us to trust others. Very good. That's the text. So, what do I recommend you to do? Highlight or underline regular verbs, irregular verbs, modal verbs. Shall we start with that? You already know. Regular verbs in the simple past, affirmative, they finish in ed because they follow a rule, okay? But you can find them in infinitive, in ing form. Let's see. The same with irregular verbs. They don't follow the grammar rule. They don't end in ed, the suffix ed, but we can find them in different ways. So we can also show them, highlight them again. So in yellow, that's what I do. I highlight the past, the verbs, irregular verbs, los irregulares. In blue, I highlight regular verbs. Okay, maybe I skipped one, but I think it's okay. And look, me olvidé ahí, miren. In the second paragraph. Look for it. Buscarlo. Ven, está en infinitive y me olvidé de marcarlo. As usual, there's something that can't be skipped. But more or less you have an idea. Why not relieved? Que ahí me preguntaron. Because relieved here is an adjective. Shh. Aliviado. En realidad, les cuento, es el past participle de relieve, es aliviarse, very good. Y funciona como un adjective. Los past participles, la tercera columna, muchas veces funcionan como adjectives. Here's the example. So now, what we'll highlight, que eso ya lo estamos incorporando hace poco, are the connectors, the cohesive devices, the linkers, los que unen. All right, shall we go? Choose another color and you immediately have them. Why? What is this useful for? Number one, to see how many you use. Okay? How many do you normally use? Antes era una embedded question, ahora se les hago pregunta. How many connectors do you normally use? And, or, but, dale, ya está, eso ya lo sabemos, el so. Yo dije que uso mucho el so, ¿ok? Entonces empiezan a usar los connectors de orden, first, then, after that, later, next, finally. Después por esto de darle un orden, como decíamos, en una sequence, all right? In the end, algo que muestra un result, el mientras tanto. Entonces, al highlighting them, you will realize how enriching you have. I mean, how you're enriching this context, this text, okay? So, let's go on to the questions. I will not provide the answers. You go for it. Your work. Okay? So, where was the narrator traveling? To the countryside, to the city, to the mountains, to the beach? What problem did the narrator have? They lost their ticket, they lost their book, they lost their phone, they lost their bag. Okay, stop here. Las respuestas ya las deben estar marcando. Perfect. ¿Por qué usan el they si hablaba una sola persona? Este they es el neutral, ¿ok? Es el neutro, porque al no saber si es woman o man, in the picture we have a picture with two girls, that's or two women, I don't remember. That's okay, fine. Pero es una picture que creó el artificial intelligence. I don't care about it. You're reading the text, entonces a vos te puede aparecer este they. No es que te está hablando de un they plural, no es que son dos personas las que lo perdieron o tres o more, ¿ok? It's for you to understand that, not to say he or she, they use they. Clear? If you have a question, don't hesitate to ask. Now, why couldn't the narrator, ve que dice the narrator, no tenemos nombre, nada. Get off the train. Get off es el contrario de get on. Means of transport that are big, we use get on, get off. Y para los means of transport that are small, we use get into, get out of. Ven que vamos practicando, activando otro vocabulary. Because it was moving quickly, because the door were locked, because the station was closed, because the train was full. Ahí usamos adjectives que son synonyms. Hay que buscar en el text. How did the narrator get the phone back? A teacher returned it. A passenger found it under a seat. The train driver gave it back to them. They discovered it in their bag. Ven que usamos el plural pronoun, que es neutral. And the last question, I separated because it's not in the text. It's what you understand out of it. What lesson did the narrator learn? ¿Qué lección aprendió? It is better to panic. Asking for help is useful. Phones are not important. Reading books is dangerous. Me muero si eligen esa última, please. All right, so that's the picture we've got out of it. Good, it's very simple, but I liked it. It helps a little. So now we've got the connectors. Sequencing order. At first, suddenly, meanwhile, as soon as, in the end. Cause and reason, because, therefore, por lo tanto. Contrast, opposition, although. El otro día nos apareció though solito, la reduced form, yes? On the other hand, cuando avancen en inglés van a ver que on the other hand lo conectamos con on the one hand, on the other hand. Empiezan dos paragraphs, different paragraphs. Y es muy lindo usarlas, pero hay que saber usarlo. Please, copy that. Consequence and result, luckily. And finally, tenemos conclusion and summary. In conclusion apareció en este, okay? So, this is it. We end up with this one. I hope you got the answers. It's easy, okay? But remember to practice all those because there's a lot of vocabulary to enrich your own vocabulary. Take notes, okay? And if you have a question, don't hesitate to ask. And remember to use this in your classes. All the input you have, output, hay que producir. Y ahí es donde no solamente contestar true or false, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Choose a quiz. You need to organize your production. We need to hear you. We need to converse. All right? Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.